Every single month, 4.3 million Americans make a car payment they think is a good deal. And almost every single one of them is wrong. Not because they got scammed, not because they're dumb, because the dealership showed them one number, and that one number hid everything that actually matters. Today, we are cracking open the full financial anatomy of a car deal: the monthly payment, the lease, the loan, the hidden fees, and the number that will genuinely surprise you at the end. By the time this video is done, you will never walk into a dealership the same way again. Let's get into it. Here's a scene that plays out about 40,000 times a day in America. You walk into a dealership, you've done some research, you know roughly what you want, the salesperson is friendly, they always are, you sit down, you look at the car, you talk numbers. And then they slide a small card across the desk. On that card is a monthly payment. Maybe it's $299, maybe it's $349, maybe it's $399. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, that number is doing something very specific. It's collapsing a 60-month financial decision into a single monthly figure that your brain can process without panic. And here is the uncomfortable truth. That is exactly what it's designed to do. Because when you're focused on the monthly payment, you are not asking the questions that actually matter. You're not asking, what does this cost me in total? You're not asking, what do I own at the end? You're not asking, what happens if I need to get out of this early? You're just asking, can I afford $319 a month? And that question, while completely understandable, is the wrong question, and the industry knows that. So today, we're going to flip it. We're going to run the actual numbers on two of the most common car deals in America, leasing and financing, and we're going to follow the money all the way to the end, not month one, the end. Let's set the scenario, keep it clean and comparable. Two people, same income, $62,000 a year, that's right around the US median household income for a single earner. Both have decent credit, around 700 to 720. Both want the same car, a $32,000 mid-size sedan. We'll call it a Honda Accord because that's literally one of the top-selling cars in the country every single year. Same car, same trim, same color, same dealership. The only difference is what they sign. Person 1, we'll call her Danny. Danny leases, 36-month lease, $1,500 due at signing, $319 a month. The finance manager tells her it's a fantastic deal. She gets a brand new car, full manufacturer's warranty for the entire lease, and in 3 years she can just walk away. No maintenance anxiety, no surprise repair bills, and honestly, $319 is manageable. Danny drives off the lot feeling like she made a smart, practical choice. Person 2, we'll call him Ray. Ray finances, 60-month auto loan at 6.5% interest. That's close to the national average right now. He puts $3,500 down. His monthly payment is $551. That's $232 more than Danny, every single month. Ray sits in the same car in the same parking lot and feels slightly stupid. Danny won month 1. It's not even close. But here's what we're actually tracking. Not month 1, not even year 1. We're tracking who's in a better position after 3 years, after 6 years, and after 10 years. And the answer at year 10 is going to reframe how you see this entire category of financial decisions. Let's count the money through the first 36 months. Danny's total outlay, $1,500 at signing, plus 36 months at $319. That's $12,984. Ray's total outlay, $3,500 down, plus 36 months at $551. That's $23,336. Danny has spent $10,352 less than Ray. That's not a small gap. That's a vacation. That's an emergency fund. That's real money. And during those 3 years, Danny's life is smooth. New car, full warranty, something breaks, Honda covers it. She is not worrying about a $900 alternator replacement or a brake job showing up in October right before the holidays. Ray, meanwhile, is watching his car depreciate in real time. The moment he drove off the lot, his $32,000 car was worth approximately $28,500. Within 12 months, around $24,000. By month 24, it's sitting around $20,000 to $21,000, and his loan balance is still near $22,000. That is called being underwater on a loan. And statistically, about 1 in 3 American car buyers are in this exact position right now. If you needed to walk away from that car in month 18, accident, job loss, life change, you don't just lose the car, you still owe money after the insurance payout. That is the financial quicksand of being underwater on a loan. And so at the end of year 3, the scoreboard looks unambiguous. Danny spent 10 grand less and never had a surprise bill. Open and shut. Except year 3 is exactly where the story changes. Danny's lease ends. She drives back to the dealership, and now she has 3 options. Option 1, buy the car outright at its residual value, the price set at the beginning of the lease. For a $32,000 Accord after 36 months, that residual is probably sitting around $17,000 to $19,000. She'd need to pay that either in cash or with a new loan. Option 2, hand back the keys. Walk away. Owe nothing, unless she went over her mileage cap or the inspector finds damage, which we'll get to. Option 3, sign a brand new lease. New car, new $1,500 at signing, new $319 a month. Month 1 again. Industry data from Experian consistently shows that around 75 to 80% of lease customers who return their car sign another lease. Danny does what most people do. She drives off in a new car. And right there, in that moment, something important just happened that feels completely invisible. Danny didn't make a mistake. She made a normal, rational choice. But financially, she just reset to 0. The payment counter doesn't stop. It never stops. She has no finish line. Now look at Ray. He's at month 36 of his 60-month loan. He has 24 payments left. That's frustrating. He's thinking about Danny's new car while he's still grinding through his payments. But here is the difference that changes everything. Ray has a date. He knows exactly when this ends. He can see the finish line from where he's standing. Every payment Danny makes brings her one step closer to handing the keys back and starting over. Every payment Ray makes brings him one step closer to owning something. That structural difference, a conveyor belt versus a finish line, is worth far more than the $23.32 monthly gap at the start. Because the conveyor belt never stops, and the finish line is a before and after moment that permanently transforms your monthly expenses. Ray makes his final payment. That's it. Done. The car is his. No more monthly note. The title arrives in the mail. He puts it in a drawer. His car-related costs from this point forward, insurance, gas, and maintenance. For a well-maintained Accord, that's probably $100 to $150 a month averaged out across the year. Maybe a bad year hits him with a $1,200 repair. Maybe some years it's just 2 oil changes and new wipers. Meanwhile, Danny is halfway through her second lease, still swiping for $319 every single month. And this is the psychological trap that nobody talks about enough. When you lease continuously, the payment just becomes part of life. It's background noise. You stop questioning it because it's always been there. $319 a month stops feeling like a decision you're actively making. It starts feeling like a fixed cost of existing, like your phone bill or your electricity. It just is. But background noise still costs money. It costs $3,828 a year, every year, indefinitely. Let's put the real numbers on the board at the end of year 6. Danny has now completed 2 full leases. Lease 1, $1,500 down plus $11,484 in payments, $12,984. Lease 2, another $1,500 down plus another $11,484 in payments, another $12,984. Total spent, $25,968. Assets owned, 0. She has nothing to show for 6 years of payments except receipts. Ray paid off his loan, $3,500 down plus $33,060 in total payments, $36,560 on the loan. But his car, a 6-year-old Accord in decent shape, is worth approximately $10,000 to $13,000.
Subtract that asset value from his total spend, and his effective cost lands somewhere between $23,560 and $26,560. At year 6, they are roughly even on effective cost, but Ray has an asset. Danny has nothing. And from year 6 forward, every single month makes the gap wider. Danny keeps paying $319 forever. Ray's costs dropped to under $150 a month. The compounding effect of that difference, month after month, year after year, is not a rounding error. Over a full 10-year window, Ray's total spend lands somewhere between $36,000 and $42,000, including maintenance and occasional repairs. He still has a car, older but paid for, worth approximately $5,000 to $7,000. Danny's total 10-year spend sits between $45,000 and $54,000, depending on mileage overages, wear and tear charges, and whether she ever hit a disposition fee. At the end of year 10, Danny has no car. Ray has one. The $10,000 advantage Danny had at the start quietly became a $15,000 to $25,000 disadvantage by the end, and it flipped with no dramatic moment, just math accumulating in the background, the same way Danny's payment kept accumulating in hers.
Now let's talk about the conditions buried in the lease agreement that don't make it into the commercial. Mileage caps. Most standard leases allow 10,000 to 12,000 miles per year. It sounds reasonable until you realize the average American drives about 13,500 miles a year, according to the Federal Highway Administration. That means the average driver is over their limit before the lease even ends. The overage penalty is typically 15 to 25 cents per mile. Drive 6,000 miles over across a 3-year lease, and you are handing the dealer an extra $900 to $1,500 on the day you return the car. It shows up on your final bill like a surprise tax. You don't find out until you're standing at the return desk. Wear and tear. The dealer inspects the car when you return it. That parking lot ding you stopped thinking about 6 months ago, the coffee stain on the back seat, the curb rash on the wheel from that one parallel parking attempt, all billable. And what counts as normal wear is defined by the leasing company, not by you. What feels normal to you might feel like a $300 charge to them. Disposition fees. Most people genuinely don't know this exists. When you return a leased car and don't immediately lease another one from the same dealer, you get charged a disposition fee, typically $300 to $500. You are literally paying them to take the car back from you, just to process the return. It's in the contract, on page 4 in 8-point font. Early termination. If life changes mid-lease, you move to a city with great public transit, your financial situation shifts, your family grows and you need a different vehicle, getting out early can cost you the entire remaining balance of the lease. There is no simple exit. You are locked in from the moment you sign. None of those costs appear in the $319 a month, but they appear eventually. Now, I'm not here to tell you leasing is always wrong. That would be oversimplified and dishonest. There are specific situations where the math genuinely tilts toward leasing. If you're self-employed or run a business and use the car professionally, lease payments can be partially or fully deductible as a business expense, depending on how the vehicle is used. That tax advantage can meaningfully close the gap, sometimes erase it entirely. If that's your situation, have a specific conversation with your CPA about it before you sign anything. If you're driving a luxury or high-performance vehicle, something where an out-of-warranty repair is genuinely brutal, staying permanently inside the warranty window through continuous leasing has real dollar value. A $3,200 air suspension repair on a 5-year-old German luxury vehicle changes the calculation in a way that a busted wiper blade on a 5-year-old Accord does not. Leasing a BMW is a very different financial conversation than leasing a Civic. And if you are the rare person who would actually take that $232 monthly difference, invest it consistently in a low-cost index fund, and not touch it for a decade, the math could theoretically work in your favor. But the key word is actually. Be honest with yourself about whether that money gets invested or whether it gets absorbed into life. Most people know the answer. For the average person driving an average car, buying and holding wins. It is not the exciting answer.
Nobody is making viral content about their paid-off Accord, but the math doesn't need an audience. Here's what ties all of this together and why the car payment conversation is just one piece of a much bigger picture. The dealership isn't the only system that gives you one number designed to make you stop asking questions. Your employer does the same thing. They show you a salary, an annual figure. You accept it, and most people stop right there. They don't ask, what does this cost me in purchasing power over 10 years? What does it cost me in compound growth I'm not capturing? What does it cost me in time and opportunity? The salary is the monthly payment of the employment world. It's the number on the card that gets slid across the desk, and most people never look past it. We did a full breakdown on exactly how that works, the complete anatomy of why working for a salary might be the most expensive financial decision most Americans make, and almost nobody frames it that way. That video is right here. We'll link it in the cards. Watch it next. Because today's breakdown landed, that one is going to hit differently. Danny and Ray both walked into the same dealership looking at the same car, thinking they were each making the smart play. Neither of them sat down and ran the numbers past month 1, and that is the real trap. Not leasing, not buying. The trap is making a $32,000 decision based on a single monthly number without ever asking what this actually costs you when it's all over. The dealership is optimized to sell you on right now. Your job is to think about 10 years from now. The next time someone slides a monthly payment across that desk and it looks almost too good to be true, ask yourself one question: what do I own when this is done? Because that is the only number that actually matters. If this breakdown hit differently, if you want to keep understanding money the way they never taught you in school, please like this video so it reaches the right audience and subscribe to Decoded. We decode the psychology, the systems, and the real mechanics behind wealth, so you stop reacting to your finances and start understanding them, one video at a time. See you in the next one.